We're joined this morning by Mr. Akiri, who is the Chairman, Editorial Board of National Daily Newspapers, and also a legal practitioner. Morning, and thank you for coming on again
It's my pleasure every day.
Well, there you have the House of Reps coming up with all of these recommendations. Already, some governors have said they completely disagree, first of all, with the removal of immunity clause. They say that, look, the drafters of the Constitution were not daft to have put it there in the first place. That's a reaction coming from Ondo State Governor speaking through one of his commissioners. And so they think it's wrong. And then his River State counterpart also says, well, the governors have got a role to play eventually before this becomes law. But these are just some of the reactions and some of the recommendations or review that have been recommended to be made with the 1999 Constitution. But we'll go to some of the other ones. But do you think that all of this will stand the test of time?
I don't think all of this will stand the test of time. There are so many things to talk about the review of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, because I have always said that this Constitution is an amalgam of rank inconsistencies. It is at once federal and unitary, is at once secular and theocratic, it's at once democratic and authoritarian, and so on and so forth. So many inconsistencies. You take a look at so many urgent matters that have to be discussed in the Constitution. For example, if Nigeria is a secular state, as is shown by Section 10 of the Constitution, Section 10 says, neither the federal government nor any state government shall adopt any religion as a state religion. Now, this fact is buttressed by Section 38. Section 38 of the same Constitution says, freedom of thought, freedom to change your religion, freedom to teach religion, freedom of any expression, everything, freedom of religion, freedom of thought, freedom to adopt a particular religion wherever you may be. And Section 42 is saying wherever you are in this country is your state, whatever. But then you go to Section 275, and it says any state that wishes, that desires it, may establish a Sharia court of appeal, and so on. Then all the things, the appointment of grand cadis, and so on and so forth, making the Constitution, theocratic, and so on. So there are so many things. There will be no time, I'm sure you won't give me that time, to analyze the entire Constitution for you today, why the Constitution should not just be amended, but it must be reviewed. When you amend the Constitution, it means there are certain sections, certain provisions of the Constitution that you need to change, cosmetic changes in the Constitution. That's amendment. But when you need a brand new Constitution, because this Constitution that we're having is a lie, is a statutory lie. That's what it means. Beginning from Section 1 of the Constitution, beginning from the preamble, actually, we the people of Nigeria. But then you won't have time for me. Let me go down to brass tacks. You talked about the abolition of the immunity clause, which means Section 308. Now, the problem I have with this proposal to remove that clause
on criminal matters.
Yeah, on criminal matters, yes. Or whether criminal or civil.
Okay.
Yes, I have a big problem with that, with the proposal for the removal of the clause. First of all, the only court or quasi-court which the president should be answerable to is the Nigerian Parliament, the National Assembly. Because if you remove the immunity clause, you now expose the president, who is in the executive. You now make him to be. You now expose him to the judicial arm of the government. Now, while at the same time subjecting him to regimentation by the National Assembly. You now subject him to impeachment by the National Assembly, and you expose him to regimentation by the judiciary. And none of the arms should intimidate the other. Now we thank God that is Section 308, subsection 3 says, you know, the president is immune from arrest, that's in criminal matters, from arrest, from detention, from whatever, while in office. Now, but subsection 3 of Section 308 says it is only during this period of his office that he could not be arrested. Soon after he leaves office, and that section defines what that period is. That's the period, that 4-year term. Soon after he leaves office, he can be arrested if he has committed any crime. The problem is not whether the president cannot be arrested while in office. The problem is that even when he leaves office, he is regarded as a sacred cow. You see, the system makes it impossible, you know, because there is no political will to deal with either governor. And here, when we talk of president, we're also talking of, when we talk of president and vice president, just take it that we're also talking of governor and deputy governor. Now, there is no political will to deal with any of these people the moment they leave office. The other time, Nuhu Ribadu told us that, we had 32 cases, you know, that is dozy on 32 governors. So that the moment they leave office, the only stumbling block was Section 308. The moment they left office, they were going to be prosecuted. So where are the prosecutions now?
Could that be attributed to the criminal justice system?
Well, criminal justice system, well, yes, again, but we revere, we apotheosize, if you allow me to use that language. We apotheosize leadership, whether good or bad. The moment, if they are there, we leave them alone. When they leave, we continue to idolize them. And that's the problem. So in the criminal justice system, you have to bring the people to judgment before you can talk of the criminal justice system. But they are never brought to book. That is the problem. So, you see, we are not doing it on our own. The Nigerian Constitution is patterned after the U.S. Constitution. And I am not saying that everything that happens in the U.S., just because our constitution is patterned after theirs, must be transposed into Nigeria, root, trunk, and branch. I'm not saying that. But at least there are reasons why Section 308 is there. Section 308 is to prevent a situation in which reckless and frivolous charges, are preferred against all those people in authority just to be popular. I know Nigerians. The moment you remove that one, members of the opposition or some other group who want to be popular, who want to play to the gallery, will just come out one day and they'll say, I'm suing the president for this, I'm suing the president for that. Yes.
Do you see a role here for the House? Because here they've gone out to go and gather memoranda, and they've also gone to their different constituencies. They're supposed to have gotten the reaction of their people on the proposed amendment and the constitution review, and this is what they have come back with, and they're saying they're going ahead with that.
Nice question.
So how do they do with that?
I probably would not have been able to mention that if you did not ask that wonderful question. You see, the thing is, Section 9 of the Constitution talks about how the National Assembly can amend the Constitution. You see, amend the Constitution. I already told you the distinction, the nuances. The distinction between amending the Constitution and reviewing the Constitution. Amending the Constitution is a cosmetic affair. But if you want to review the Constitution, it must be total, wholesale. Now, Section 9, and that's what the National Assembly keeps on thinking about. That we are the elected members, so, we are representing the people. So we can do something about it, because it's a big lie. The greatest lie from the bottomless pit of hell is that we are representing the people, and therefore we can review the Constitution. They can only amend the Constitution. That's what Section 9 of the Constitution is saying. They cannot review the Constitution. To review the Constitution the way I want it, the way the overwhelming majority of Nigerians want it, you have to constitute a constituent assembly to do that. And that's what they are opposed to. You cannot give up, the National Assembly cannot give us a brand new constitution, which we want, because the present constitution is a living lie, and we